Acknowledgement of God's power is not necessarily in a shout, but it's in your life.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
He was trying to get these people that were around him, not just Greeks, but Jews, Romans, everybody in the place. He said, I'm trying to get you to a place where you see what's really happening. I dwell on that too long. Let me get to this last one off here. I'm done. Thank you, Lord, for turning off the mic. Pursue the light. Trust in the power of the light. But then you got to be birthed by the light. All these kids were once in fetal stages, under development. They were not on the outside, they were being developed on the inside. And they were totally dependent on the mother to get everything they needed because they could not get it for themselves. Right? Know the light. Be in the light so that you might be birthed or become children of the light. Some of y'all may know this. It's an old idea from philosophy. And it's probably been spread around before philosophers talked about it. It's the idea of a bunch of men being in a cave, living in a cave. When the sun comes up, light enters into the cave, and they see shadows. And they're thinking that it's somebody else. They don't realize that the shadows are them. And this thing happens day and night. And they keep on seeing the shadows come in the day, nighttime to go. Daytime to come, nighttime to go. But they're still in the cave. So one day, one of the men decides, you know what? I just feel like venturing out. So he walks out of the cave. And he realizes there's a world that's greater than the shadows. And he says, cave living ain't for me. But he goes back to the cave to try to convince his brothers there is a bigger world out there than the shadows that you see. And these guys say, no, I'm going to stay right here and be in this cave. This example was used to illustrate the difference between the enlightened individual and those still stuck in a box. When you venture out of the darkness into the light, you discover that everything you tried before just doesn't fit in reality. Jesus said, if you're walking in darkness, you ain't got no idea where you're going. So you need to get in the light so you can reflect the light. Children are supposed to reflect the ideas and the concepts and the personality of the parent, correct? Some things in the child remind you of you. Sometimes you try to be in denial of it, but then when you realize it, that's the reason you get sick and tired of your child from time to time, because they acted just like you. In this case, Jesus wants us to act just like him. And if we're going to act just like him, we can't just be in darkness and not know what he's all about. We got to step into the light and let those things overshadow us to the point that when it's time for us to go forward, we can reflect the things of Jesus Christ. It goes back to what he said a few verses ago and what I said last week. The Bible's still true. He said, if I be lifted up, I'll draw all men unto myself.
Yes.
What does that mean now? That means that we got to lift up Jesus.
Yes, sir.
And as we lift up Jesus, it's not because someone told us to, but it's because we know something about him, and because we know him, and we have pursued him, and we have trusted him. It's easy for us to tell somebody about how good our God is. Is there anybody here that's got a witness in their heart today that can say that the Lord is still good, and it's because he's good, it's not because someone told me about it, but because I know for myself. Well, let me close this thing by saying this. I feel like shouting.
Yes, sir. All praise.
Because I know him.
Yes.
I'm excited about him.
Yes.
I'm excited about him because I've learned how to trust him.
Yes.
I learned how to trust him
Yes.
because I had to go through some stuff with him.
Yes.
And when I went